Hi, it is the Human Operating System time. This channel is for education and technology only. So a few days ago, I asked our Wing Chun friends and traditional Chinese martial art friends whether I should share my view on today's Wing Chun's problem and solutions. And the word I got from our friend is yes. So here I'm going to share with you my view. Now, the issue come up is more and more I got messages, email from Asia saying that Wing Chun does not work versus the Chinese MMA and send me all kinds of videos. So that is the reason why I get into this sharing of today's Wing Chun's problem and solution, because we need to solve it. If there's a problem, we need to solve it. This is technical stuff. Now, the first thing we need to clarify one thing. To say that Wing Chun does not work versus Chinese MMA, we need to define Wing Chun, what they mean. For Wing Chun is actually the Wing Chun version 1960s, okay? Which is a version which is started in Hong Kong. Is this 1960s version of Wing Chun the Wing Chun like in the Red Boat era? No, it is not. But it is a version of 1960s. So we need to get things clear, because we cannot just simply say Wing Chun does not work versus Chinese MMA. We need to know what exactly it is. It's like you say, oh, iPhone is good. Then we need to know which version of the iPhone is good. Instead of say just really general stereotype, iPhone is good. What do you mean? Okay, which version, what function? We need to know clearly. So today I like to give you a technical assessment of Wing Chun version 1960. And for this video, we need to be careful, okay? And that's why I want to address this. Look at the technology, not other things. Don't get into which grandmaster, which is the authentic Wing Chun, which is the lineage, or who is the person. Those are not the focus. The focus is the technology of Wing Chun version 1960s. Because today, majority mainstream is the 1960 versions of Wing Chun. So let's not get into, oh, this guy is good, this guy is grandmaster, all those kind of things which is off topic. We want to look into technology, because now we do need to compare technology with technology instead of blaming people. For example, if one Wing Chun 1960s practitioner compete with a Chinese MMA and he lost, we don't going to blame on that guy. We want to look into the technology of the Chinese MMA and Wing Chun version 1960. Instead of blaming on people, okay, if this person is lost, then you blame on him. If he's win, then you say, oh, he's good, he's hero. We don't want to do that. We want to do things objectively, what it is, okay? And by a lot of data to see what is going on. Only that way we can see, is it really there's a problem? And if it is a problem, how to fix it? We need to know that. It's a technical stuff, okay? It's not about people. Now, as the Chinese Sun Tzu, the Art of War, said, know the enemy and know yourself. And when you are ignorant of the enemy but know yourself, your chance of winning or losing are equal. If ignorant both of your enemy and yourself, you are certain in every battle to be peril. So that's why I say here, look at the technology, not other thing, because we need to know what the heck are we doing, and we need to know what is our enemy or our competitor is doing. Instead of saying enemy is a bad word, we don't want to make enemy. We can have competitors so that we can mutually improve. So we need to know what type of technology we do. What is our competitor, the Chinese MMA player have? And then based on that. Otherwise, as 1,000 years ago, Sun Tzu already said, if ignorant both of your enemy and yourself, you are certain in every battle to be peril. That is the bottom line. Now, we get what we train in. Okay, so if you train something, you will get a result from that training. And we want to look into the 1960 versions of Wing Chun training coverage. Okay, what is it? What type of technology is this? So the training method of Wing Chun 1960s, which is a Hong Kong-based type of Wing Chun, because this type of Wing Chun is not Fat Sun type of Wing Chun, it's not the 1850 type of Wing Chun, so we be specific. We don't want to make gray on this. Is this iPhone 11? There's iPhone 11. Is this iPhone 5? There's iPhone 5. Okay? This is technology stuff. Now we know that in this type of training, you have the sets. Okay, like this, the Xiu Lim Tao sets, where you standing in the in a structure, a type of structure there, with the triangle shape and moving your arm. Okay, those are the Xiu Lim Tao sets. Everybody can check it out what it is. Okay, and the bottom line, the core is center line theorem, and the linear and direct. You go straight and you direct. Okay, that's the center line theory, and of course, you guys know about this, or if you don't know, you can go check in the YouTube, and there's plenty of explanation there. So that is the sets and the basic principle. And then you train this wooden dummy. Okay, the wooden dummy. And this wooden dummy, because of the hand, the arm, actually the training is in the long fist range. Long fist. This is how the long fist training, if we use the Chinese definition, traditional Chinese martial art definition, for standing this far away from the wooden dummy, it is a long fist training. Okay, it is a long fist training. So we know that this is the structure type. The principle is center line, or attack to the center line, or protect the center line, linear and direct. And then there's the Chi Sao practice. Okay, so again, this is like the wooden dummy. This is a long fist type of art. It is not the 1850s short strike art. Okay, so we need to be clear here, so that we know what this technology is about. Okay, so So this is the long fist art. This is the long fist art. So just to explain about short strike art will be, the person will be at this around here, where the body of the person is sticking with the dummy. That is the short strike art. And for those type is a long fist art. Okay, that is the Chinese definitions. So again, if it is a short strike art, this person will be this close, not this far away. Okay, we need to be clear and we need to be accurate on technology. Now, so the light sparring type, their light sparring type is like this. Okay, again, this is a long fist distance art. Okay, now again, this is the 1-inch pan. You see the arm is straight out there. Look at the arm. It is extended. Okay, look at the arm. It is extended. So this elbow is named as the immobile elbow, so that the elbow is placing between the opponent and oneself. And in order to strike, then one has to stretch in so in order to do the strike, one have to extend the arm to a certain degree. Okay, like this type. Now there is a long fist type of art. Okay, which is a chord, and it is actually it just verified that this is long fist, this is a long fist, and this is all long fist. Okay, it is not the short strike, sticking body short strike type of art. And then for this training method of the Wing Chun 1960, there is some kinds of structure and mind power, those type of training. So practically we can sum the training of the 1960 Wing Chun into the 6 area to see what it is. Okay? Now, this is 1960s. So it is a version of Wing Chun. It is as it. If people train that, they will get the result. But if people don't like it, they can change it. So, in 1960s, does somebody already start to want to change stuff? Sure. Look at this letter from Bruce Lee at 1966. Okay? This is a 60-year-old letter from Bruce Lee on Wing Chun Kung technology at his time. Now read this carefully. Here it said that over here it said that the fact remains that Jun Fan is yet several steps ahead of Wing Chun system. Okay, so Bruce Lee is training in the 1960 type of version type of Wing Chun, and Bruce Lee at 1966 saying that Chun Fan, which is the Bruce Lee art, is yet several steps ahead of Wing Chun system, where Wing Chun ends Okay, so this Wing Chun is Wing Chun 1960s. And Jun Fan starts not to add on, but to see the isness with freedom and in its totality. So, in other words, Bruce Lee do not like the rigidness. That's why he looked for the freedom. And he doesn't like the partial. That's why he mentioned totality here. And as we know that in Bruce's interview, his famous interview or famous quote, "Flow like water, my friend." So that is not the Wing Chun 1960s, which is his study. It is, he found out that for him, Wing Chun 1960 is too rigid and not is narrow. So that's why he wrote this, okay? Freedom and totality. So that's Bruce Lee, 60 years ago. Now, the training of Wing Chun version 1960. We need to look at the reality from the today 2020 to 1960, because when we want to talk about something technical, we need data, a lot of data, okay, and from different angles we want to see what happened to the technology, what does it do. So if we look at this, the reality from 2020 to 1960, if you like the outcome, well, stick with it. If you don't like the outcome, then change it. It's like Bruce Lee here. So that is the reality. The world is keeping progressing, evolving. And some 50, 60 years ago, Bruce Lee already evolved Wing Chun. And for sure, we know that what Wing Chun Bruce Lee practiced after the 1966, at least it is not Wing Chun as the Wing Chun 1960s version. It is a different version, if you want to call it. Okay, it is no longer the 1960 Wing Chun. Now, so 2020, today is 2020. We can look at what it works and what it doesn't when it's facing the MMA in China. Like, for example, this classical case of the Ding Hao versus Xi Xiaodong. Again, over here, we must not say, hey, because Ding Hao lost. Wing Chun is okay. Wing Chun versions 1960 is okay. Ding Hao lost. And that's the Ding Hao problem. No, that's not the way to solve problem. Well, you look into this. See whether it verify with what this training is about. All this training. See whether it verify or not. Okay? Now, in this competition between the Xi Xiaodong and the Ding Hao, okay, which is in 3 years ago, we can see what works and what doesn't. First of all, in the long fist, well, actually Ding Hao is doing very good in the long fist, because you see Xi Xiaodong is actually avert him away or do not take it direct. And of course it's powerful, of course it's working. So that's why it forced Xi Xiaodong go sideways. So that is working. Okay? So whatever trained in the version 1960s Wing Chun or 1960 version Wing Chun, it really delivered at this long fist range. Direct linear, go to center line, long fist range, it does work. Okay? So we want to, just to acknowledge what works. Now, when it get into the short strike range, where you see here, Xu Xiaodong is moved in the long fist range. Okay? He tried to avoid his strike, go sideways. Okay? This is a long fist. Xu Xiaodong goes sideways. And that means that it does work to force Xu Xiaodong to move sideways. Now, when you get into the short strike, see, right now Xu Xiaodong's position is closed in. If you look at Xu Xiaodong's hand, his hand is in here already. This is closed in. This is getting to the short strike. Now, you see that when you get into the short strike, the Wing Chun version 1960 long fist doesn't work. When it gets into the throwing zone, which is short strike zone to the throwing or tripping zone, you see Ding Hao with the 1960s version. It simply doesn't work there. So we can acknowledge at long fist, straight, direct, it works. And it actually do whatever the training here. It do that. Okay? It do, you get what you trained for. So Wing Chun 1960s do produce good result here. The issue is when it get into the short strike, get into the throwing zone, well, it doesn't work because it's not trained for that. Okay, we can see that from the training here. From the training here, it doesn't train for that. Okay, so that is what the reality is. Now, you see that over here, Xu Xiaodong is moving sideways. It's coming from the sideway. So even though Ding Hao is moving straight, Xu Xiaodong is taking an angle from side in. So it's like this. So Ding Hao is actually attacking him, and Xu Xiaodong is moving in from here, get close. He's not standing here. If Xu Xiaodong is standing here, which is getting to this case, Ding Hao is forcing him to move out because this is very powerful here. Ding Hao is very powerful here. So Xu Xiaodong is a very experienced guy. That's why he come from here. He take another angle after testing it. If you watch the entire thing, he know that Ding Hao is really strong here. So Xu Xiaodong instead he move in from here, coming from here, coming in here, and then coming in here in throwing. This is a short strike sideways, because this is the blackout zone that Ding Hao do not know how to handle. So if you watch the video, you watch out that where in the video how it will show you that it does show you that Xu Xiaodong is testing the water and see where is your most powerful attack. So it avoid it by doing some other things. Now the same thing over here in the long fist frontal. Ding Hao with the long fist 1960 version, it works good. Okay, at here. And again, Xu Xiaodong change his strategy. He going downward, getting into the short strike zone. And then this is a short strike zone. You see, he stick at his body already. Remember, we have defined here that short strike is actually this person is traveling here, closing to the person. Okay? So short strike zone meaning that this person is closing in, has to be stick at his body. And that is what exactly Xi Xiaodong is doing. It's closing to his body already. And this one is different. The come in is different. This short strike coming in is going low, is going downward, get into the short strike zone. That is different. Over here, compared with this one, you see, you want to get close. You want to get close, end up this way, but it comes from different angle. Okay? So there are variations how one can get into the short strike zone. Well, at this time, Ding Hao do not know how to respond because his linear, straight, linear, center line, and Xi Xiaodong just going down. So you can see two types of fighting technology there. One is from the side, another is enter by going down and then get in and then get up. So that's what short strike, low and high. It changed the level of getting in. Okay, so it changed the level of getting in. So that's the change of in the fighting. Now again, after that it get into the throwing zone. And again, Ding Hao don't know how to respond with it. Okay. So this is the reality. We like it or not, this is the reality. Does Wing Chun 1960 works? Sure, it does. Right? It does. You get what you trained for. But whatever you don't train for, your body mechanics, your momentum, impulse momentum handling, you don't train for, then you don't know how to handle it. You don't know how to face it. So we know from this, from the Xi Xiaodong, the competition or the fight, you know that the Wing Chun 1960s is partial. It doesn't cover the short strike and the throw and all the variations. It's good in the forward linear type of long fist stuff. Now, let's look another data point. So this is at around 2000. See what works, what doesn't. So this is against in the MMA, in the UFC. You see the Wing Chunner again going straight in. You see the wrestler is going sideways. Okay, is going, the Wing Chunner going like that. The wrestler is going this way. You see his body. And then he did a takedown. See that? This is actually coming in the sideway. And that's the end of the fight. Okay? So this thing is very similar with this one. It is very similar with this one. It's going downward. Short strike going close to your body, going downward. Okay? So we can confirm that at this range and this range, the Wing Chun version 1960 doesn't work. Because this is 2020, This is year 2000, even 20 years later, it is not update or fix the problem. That's why the same issue repeat again in 2020. Okay? So we have multiple data, different people. We cannot keeping blaming, oh, here, think how you are bad. Yeah, this is not Wing Chun. You don't know Wing Chun. You are bad. We cannot say that. And over here, okay, I don't know what his name. We cannot say what he is bad. Well, lightning struck twice over the 20 years time. And if you look at other Wing Chun, MMA, versus MMA, Chinese MMA, you can see the same thing again and again in repeat. Okay? So this is 20 years before 2020. Now you look at 1850. This is in the Japan Kyokushin Open. See, it's a long fist, and the Kyokushin player is circling, circling the Wing Chuners. The Wing Chuners going straight. Okay, so the Wing Chuner going straight, and the Kyokushin practitioner is circling attack from different side. If you look at this. Okay, so actually the Kyokushin practitioner is circling an attack, while the Wing Chuner is attack straight, well, which is accord to this, accord to the training, accord to this training. Okay, accord to the training. So you get what you train. It's accord to this training, and the Kyokushin player is playing the circle game and KO him. So at this point, you still know the Wing Chun straight, direct, long fist, it does work. The reason it get KO is because the Kyokushin player taking a circling strategy, but it doesn't go straight to exchange it, because it is the direct, the straight is powerful. That's why again, Xi Xiaodong do not take it straight. The over here doesn't take it straight, it goes sideways. This one, it just doesn't take it straight way. It just move away. Okay, so we know that Wing Chun 1960s works. Okay. However, there are many ways to play these games, and if it is just a straight, a linear type, direct type, then it is like what Bruce Lee said: totality, freedom, and totality. If you look at that, the Kyokushin player is playing freedom and totality. It goes sideways. Okay, and of course, if you look at that with the Xi Xiaodong even play more different way of getting in. Okay, because this is 2020 now. This is 40 years later, 2020, 1918. The world is changing, big deal, big time. Okay, that's 40 years. So the Wing Chun 1960 still keep the same thing, but the world have changed. Okay. Now let's look at 1960. Well, this is the rooftop fighting of Wing Chun in Hong Kong. This is the long fist. You see this? Well, it defeat the opponent with this long fist. Okay. So with this 1960s, 1980s, 2000, 2020, for the past 60 years, does Wing Chun works? The Wing Chun version 1960 works? Yes, it works. It works. The issue is by 2020 people have the opponent have playing much more different than 1960s. It's much more different than 1960s. Okay, so even at the 1980s is different already. The 2000 is different, and 2020 is even more different because the martial art in the world is evolving. Okay, so that is the reality. You get what you train. That's the reality. If you like the outcome, you stick with it. If you don't like the outcome, change it. And you know that the Wing Chun 1960s version is good for that linear, that long feet stuff. But it's not the sticking body short strike. It doesn't have the technology and training of the impulse momentum and body mechanics to handle the short strike and the throw, where the short strike and the throw is actually the core, the theme of the 1850s Wing Chun. So Wing Chun 1960 has evolved away from the 1850s. Okay, so that is per historic data and per reality. We don't want to have make any assumption. So that is the reality. Okay, is Wing Chun good? Wing Chun 1960s good? Well, it does what it does. Okay. However, the 1960 version have no way be able to handle the Chinese MMA. Why? It's simply in today's simple term or today's language, it doesn't have the vocabulary to do the job. It doesn't have the body mechanics and impulse momentum handling to handle what is happened in year 2020. It doesn't. Okay. But all this practitioner, be it of Wing Chun version 1960, be it at the 2020, be it at the year 2000, 1980, 1960, they are practice the same type of art and get the same type of result. Okay, so that's how it is. So again, if the world change and we don't like the result, well, change it. So finally, I like to tell you this. I like to share you this. Education is the solutions. In front of here, I go through with you from 2020 to 1960s. The reason why I be able to analyze things to show you what is going on is about educations. If we don't have the educations, we will go back into the Sun Tzu. Okay? If ignorant both of your enemy and yourself, you are certain in every battle to be peril. That's the bottom line. Okay, so the bottom line is education is the solutions. If we don't have the education, we don't even know what things go wrong, and we don't know ourselves. And because of that, we not be able to create, to design, to evolve Wing Chun. Okay, and that's why I say is education. I don't say you need to follow this lineage, that lineage, this thing, my thing, your thing. No. Education. The bottom line is one need to be able to analyze, synthesize, and verify scientifically on what one is doing. And only that way one is clear on what one is doing, and then be able to break the issue and to solve the issue. Like today, after you see this analysis I just shared with you, you know. If you don't have this short strike and the takedown zone or the throw zone, there's no way you can fight the MMA guy. Since year 2000, you already know that if you don't play these games, you cannot play with them. Okay? And that's education. And so if we have no idea of the analyze, synthesize, and scientific verification, like over here, where we do it with the map into the sport science, we know exactly what it is, we can measure, we know which state is doing what, we know about the body mechanics, the impulse momentum handling and body mechanics. We know if we don't have those educations, how are we going to do anything at all? We don't even know what we are doing. So this is how serious it is. So the solution is educations. Everybody need to have educations. And only with educations, we know what is the problem. We know what is the cause, the root cause. We know how to solve it. So this is what is the bottom line. That's why education is extremely critical. If we don't know this kind of stuff, the training and all the zone and like the H model, the recovery, and then the impulse momentum handling, the isotonic. Okay, here is isotonic, isometrics, and over here is anaerobic. If we have no idea on that, how are we going to face the world today, 2020, 60 years later from the design of the 1960 version? Well, you can't do that. There's no way you can face it. And again, you look at this. Today's enemy, today's opponent, how much they are much stronger than or well trained than the 1960s opponent. We just have to look at things in practical way. Okay. So also do not what do you call it? Romancing the ancient. Oh, the grandmaster in the ancient is ultimate. They know everything. No, it is not. This proved to you for the past 60 years how things have changed. Okay? So this is what I'd like to share with you today. This is the bottom line. If we don't have the educations, we really don't know what we are doing. We don't know what our opponent is doing. And we can keep sitting down there, arguing, reasoning, like many of the Chinese friend, Asia friend of mine, arguing, debating with the Chinese MMA friend, saying that, oh, you know, Chinese martial art is for this, Wing Chun is for this, it's not for that. I mean, who cares? Okay, you look at this. Okay, what is the technology? If you lose, you lose. If you don't have the technology, you don't. Let's design a new one. Or let's take it back from the 1850s. Instead of sitting down there, this grandmaster, this and that, well, there's a wasting of time. So nobody is immune. The world is an evolved world. getting more and more complex. If one doesn't have the education, it's a dead end. No grandmaster, no name dropping, no lineage, no authentic, no those what do you call that? Those metaphysics stuff of internal chi and all those kind of stuff can save one. No, none, zero. That's why, for past 3 years, after Xi Xiaodong challenged the Chinese martial art in China, in Tai Chi and Wing Chun, nobody actually presenting anything making any sense to solve the problem, because everybody is just keeping circle and circle in that lineage, all this thing, which is not solving problem at all. So this is what I'd like to share with you today.